everybody. The other night I was invited to an international potluck dinner, so I made my mom's homemade Chinese dumpling recipe and they were kind of a big hit. So some friends have asked me for the recipe and I thought this might be the best way to share it since it's a long process. Oh, and just a teeny tiny FYI, I actually thought about videotaping after I had already started the process, so everything should be self-explanatory, but if you have any questions, email littlemisslocal@gmail.com. Thanks. Now, in order to make the dough, which actually I call the skin of the dumpling, you just need 2 cups of flour and 3/4 cups of boiling water mixed together, and then let it sit for about a half an hour minimum. Once the dough is ready, it'll start to look like a big ball, and you kind of cut it into 4 quarters, and you take 1/4 and you start going like this to it. You need to get it moving and you need to make it more elastic, and you're kind of gonna roll it out to make it look like a log. Now get some flour and start cutting into pieces. Once you cut them into pieces, roll them into a ball and then smash it down. Make sure that your counter is full of flour, otherwise it'll stick and it'll just fall apart. So you're gonna do that for a little bit. Roll, smash. This will actually help you when we're rolling the dough out so that we can fill it with the meat. Now you have your circles, get your flour on the surface, and you're gonna take a little small rolling pin, cover it with flour, and you're gonna roll the skin out. Dough, skin, whatever. Now that it's flat, you wanna make sure the middle is strong, but you're gonna roll out the outsides to make it thin. This will help you when you're putting it all together. So just go in a circle. Edges out, middle stays a little thick. Now this is the meat. It's just ground meat. You can do whatever preference you want. Maybe pork is the best. I don't know. You can do a mix of veal, beef, pork, whatever you want. In the meat, all it is 2 tablespoons of soy sauce for 1.5 pounds of meat, maybe 1 kilo of meat. Then we have salt, pepper. You can add chives to it, which I really like. My mom puts sesame oil in it, but I really do not like sesame oil. You can put vinegar into it, and that's all you really need. So this is what you do. You make a little ball. Actually, this is kind of a big ball. And you put it right in the center. The center needs to be a little thick to support the meat. Then with the thin edges, you just pinch them together like this. And then it's kind of like a folding game. I used to love this when I was little, and I still do now. All you have to do is grab a piece, fold it over, and grab a piece, fold it over. It's like origami. Origami with food. You're gonna pinch, and then pinch again. And squeeze, 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 squeeze. If it's not coming together, you can take a little bit of flour and pinch, or maybe a little bit of water. And there you have it. You have a little dumpling. So you just keep doing that until you're all finished with your dough. Make sure you get all of your dough used up, because otherwise it'll dry up and you won't be able to use it for anything. Now, here are some that are already made, and in a little bit, I'm going to show you how to make them in the pan. So now that I finished making the dumplings, which took about forever and a half, we're going to steam the dumplings. The first thing you need to do is actually put oil in the pan just to get the bottoms a little bit crispy. Now, I'm going to just use a regular oil, not a big deal. Just put enough oil so that it covers the bottom of the pan. And then when you think it's a little bit warm, not extremely hot, you can start putting it in. I always like to do it a little bit early because I get so nervous about burning myself. Now, what I like to do when I cook them is put them in a circle. So they're not crowded, they all have their space, and they can cook evenly. Kind of looks like this. Now, you're gonna notice that the bottoms are sizzling a bit. You're only going to fry them for maybe about a minute, like very light brown. And then we're gonna put some water. We're gonna cover it with the top and put the flame up higher, and it'll probably be done in 20 minutes. We're going to start putting the water in. I would say just put enough water. Not a lot so they're sinking in it, but enough to cover the bottom and enough for it to give it some steam. Alright, so I'll see you in about 10 minutes. See you later. Alright, so the dumplings are cooked and most of the water evaporated. Use a little spatula and take them off the pan, and we're going to plate them and see how they taste. Let's see. Okay, so I cut one open and this is what it looks like inside. It's all cooked and everything. And let's see how it tastes. The flavor is great and the skin is really good. So we did well, people. Good job.